The spiritual world is like this. It's very melodious. It's very harmonious. It's very substantial. It's very charged with. It's charged with empowerment. You see, empowerment means giving, and taking the empowerment away from people is what you can call manipulation, blackmailing, bribing, making people feel depending on you. Yet you are some kind of dependent. Actually, the divine is always empowering. And that is what's the nature of kirtan. Kirtan is total empowerment. Kirtan means to chant. There's no hard and fast rules. Nobody can say, hey, you're not supposed to sing because you're not playing the top rhythm or the top melody. No, the empowerment is here something, it's the empowerment in transcendence. We are trusted. Why? Well, not strange, because we are spirit souls, so why should we not be trusted? Every soul is trustworthy, even though they may behave not trustworthy due to the illusion they fall into. But in essence, everybody is trustworthy, because everybody is part of the Supreme Spirit. So, this empowerment, this is what gives happiness. And that is what spiritual life is all about. The empowerment of freedom. We are given the freedom to be ourselves and to find the love of our life. To be ourselves and to find the love of our life. And the love of our life is not our wife and our children. I mean, they can also be the love of our life additionally. That's okay. But the love of our life is much higher than wife and children. Because even big demons had wife and children also. But they didn't find the love of their life. How many people like sentimentally attached to the family, but they are not loving the divine. They're not having universal love. They have no idea what real love is. So this is something very important to understand, that despite our great abilities, we can ignore what's really calling. And we can somehow other waste our love energy in different types of fata morganas, illusions which just show up and disappear, show up and disappear. The empowerment of freedom has to be supported by those who are on the path of transcendence. In Krishna consciousness, in our tradition, we call that the empowerment of becoming a Brahmin. I was just explaining a little bit yesterday about that, because we had some Brahminical initiations today. So, what is a Brahminical empowerment? What does it really do? Well, it just reassures to you what you have known from a long time ago, that the Guru, the Master, he's right within your heart. It doesn't mean you should ignore other helpers and otherwise on the path, but you make sure that you know that the Guru, the Lord, the caretaker, the lover of yourself is right there within your heart. That's why you can walk confident and happy into the world, because your Lord and Guardian is there. You have to just be willing and eager to get his instruction, and you apply it as well. That is the problem. The willingness to follow your heart, to surrender to what is coming from within, and then applying it on our all over lifestyle. So I want to emphasize this again, and I want to explain to you from the scriptures, what does it really mean, that commitment, so that we will not be sentimental about it. So that you go home today and you will say, now I know what that empowerment entitles. This is such a wonderful thing. I only have to think about it and I feel profound joy and ecstasy grow in my heart. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Find the shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, Samodamasta Vasvanscham. They don't have it in my shloka book, to my great surprise. Oma Jnanati Manandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Shakshur Militam Janetasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. First of all, let me welcome you all today to this Divine Empowerment Seminar. It is on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita. Samo. Lord Krishna is a name for that inner guide. He himself says, Sisavasya Chamride Sanima Sanivishtu Matasmite Jnanam Aponam Cha. Says, I'm in the heart of you. I'm your inner guide. I'm your inner friend. I'm your counselor. And he's a free counselor. He don't charge anything. But he's always there, and he's also has all the vision, plus he's your dearest well-wisher and friend. Therefore, give me the book. Therefore, if you make any mistake, he'll come forward and he'll talk to you about it. So this verse in the Bhagavad Gita says, the qualities by which those work who are truth-bound, those who have decided I'll do what's right, so that I can be further empowered. Like, you can be empowered if you are trustworthy. Like in some public office, people are sometimes empowered, but if they are not trustworthy, they end up in jail. Because when you have some empowerment, you have some special privileges given to you for that empowerment. That means you have to behave twice as good as normal, because now you're empowered. So here's the thing, is the Bhagavad Gita explaining you how the empowerment of the divine manifests in you. And if you act according to these principles, which I'm going to tell you now, then you are a Brahmin, or you are a truth searcher. And a real truth searcher is also a truth finder. Because the truth has that nature that it's looking for those who are looking for it. So there's a good foundation of common interest. So the first one is peacefulness. The person is peaceful. He will tolerate difficult situation. He will not get out of his peace of mind and well-wishing disposition. So peacefulness is a very strong power inside. Those who always get agitated and angry over everything, they always think that others are ill-meaning towards them. They're always in that suspicion. But they cannot understand this. They don't know what peacefulness is. And therefore, they're not peaceful. This is the first one, peacefulness. Now the next one is Dhamma. That is more tough. It's called self-control. You control what you're doing. If your decision is you don't want to do something, you don't do it. Self-control. There's always some temptations, some addictions within our system. So we have to learn how to be self-controlled. Be tough. Be strict with yourself and merciful with others. That is the principle. Be strict with yourself and merciful with others. This is called self-control or Dhamma. So peacefulness and self-control. Because you're self-controlled, you will not forsake the others who are in need. Like if you are self-controlled and you know somebody is in great need, you will be able to control the situation so much that you can solve that problem, help that person. That's why those brahmanas, they're natural counselors. They're the most natural counselors. They can give good advice to almost everybody in the world. And the people in this world, they need good advice. You don't get good advice from a book. I mean, not absolutely. Also, books can help you, but in the real sum and substance, when you're really in urgent need, you need to get help from such a person who has this attitude, can teach you. Then comes tapa. Tapa is a quality of those who want to achieve something higher. They do not resist. They are not afraid to accept severe austerities when it is required from them in order to achieve their goal. Tapa is a yogic quality. And even just to chant the holy name of the Lord, it's not very painful and not very difficult, but it's also a tapa. That's why it's yagya. Yagya, dana, in tapa. They are the three activities which we should never give up in our life. To be generous, never give it up. To be austere, never give it up. And to make sacrifice for higher purpose, never give it up. That is the quality of a Brahmin. That means freedom in exercise, or love in action also. So tapa, many people today make tapasya for nonsense. Anybody who climbs the Mount Everest, he makes more austerity than most of the Brahmins do. Except they want to climb the Mount Everest because their egos wants to say, I was up there. Whereas the Brahmin, he climbs on top of the mountain of the false ego. So he doesn't have to go up to the Mount Everest. That is he is already on a different track. So therefore, the Brahmanas, they are committed towards a life of service, and therefore they are very, very happy to practice this tapa or austerity, for many different things. Getting up early in the morning for Mangalartik is an austerity also. Sitting in class and listening is also an austerity. Especially when in the class they start talking about things you have not realized yet, and you feel, oh, I have to listen to this. This is very true. Why have I not applied it before? Then, after tapa comes saucham, cleanliness, purity. This is so important. Cleanliness is next to godliness. It's a very, very important thing. For our food should be clean. Our environment should be clean. Our inner life should be clean. There's so many types of cleanliness. So we should be very saucham, very pure. And as more pure we are, as more we repent our own mistakes. Pure doesn't mean you have never made a mistake. Don't get the thing wrong. Pure means you are ready to admit it and to clean it. Clean up the act, so to say. And that is, one time my Guru Deva was asked what a pure devotee is, and he said, somebody who has pure intentions, he is a pure devotee. He's pure in purpose. Not that he's pure, that means infallible. No, it doesn't mean. It means something else. He has the proper intention. For the truth, he's going to make anything possible. So this, therefore, saucham, purity, this is the inner, like he gives his word, he will keep his word. He will not go with this contaminated mind. Oh, I told him something and now I'm not doing it. Because that would be a disturbance. Then comes kshantihi, tolerance. Titikshava karunika suridam sarvadena. That the tolerance is very important. You have to tolerate so many things in life which simply don't go the way you want them to go. So many things you have to tolerate. In relationships especially, you have to tolerate. Karmani evadikalaste mat faleshu kadachana. You have to do your duty according to what you understand is your duty. You have no right to demand the return. Mat kalma falahitur bur. You cannot say, oh, I did this, therefore I want this result. No. You're not entitled to the result. Only if the Lord wants to give result, then good. But you have a duty, a lot of duty. That is the responsibility of human life, to fulfill your different duties, whatever that means. And you have to figure it out for yourself what's your duty. One man's food is another man's poison. It's not just so simply straight that automatically you know. No. You should find it out from the most profound level of your inner reflection upon life. There you should find out what is your duty. And you will find it completely supported. Your duty is not ambiguous. Your duty is not speculation. Your duty is that what has to be done. After tolerance, Kshanti, tolerance, comes arjavam, honesty. The Brahmin is honest. He doesn't mind to admit that he has made many mistakes, but he's honest that he wants to serve, and therefore he's getting all the chance. So honesty is also a very good quality, very important. That's why our leaders in our society, they cannot really do any good to themselves or for society, because they're just so corrupt, so always my advantage, I don't care for the rest. Many of those leaders, they have empty coffers of entire countries to transfer them to their private savings. Stupid people. They can never spend. How much money can you spend for the rest of your life? Even if you eat cheesecake morning, noon, and evening. Huh? Come on, how much money can you spend? Huh? This is all nonsense. The greed for more and more and more is very, very detrimental for spiritual advancement. So therefore, honesty is very important. Arjavam. Empowerment means trustworthiness. Okay, you want me to carry this? I don't think I can. But if you want me, I'll try. And then the journey starts. Then comes Jnanam. You should have a good amount of knowledge about what's going on. Spiritual life, spiritual people should be informed. I mean, they don't have to know everything because nobody knows everything. What is the big deal? But they should be well informed. And then they should have wisdom. They should have some very deep application. When you apply the knowledge you have, then it transforms into wisdom. Theoretical knowledge is as good almost as nothing. It has to be transformed into wise activities, generous activities, compassionate activities. That's where we see, oh, the person must have understood something. And finally, ashtikyam means we have to have a consideration of our spiritual identity. We must be very, very, very spiritual to understand the call which has come towards us. Spiritual is the treasure. You are spirit soul and your consciousness is spiritual. But when you think I'm the body, then you're not very spiritual. If you think I'm black and white, woman or man, you're not very spiritual. When you think that I'm fat or I'm small or thin, you're not very spiritual. When you think that you're famous or infamous, you're not very spiritual. Spiritual means you understand that you're spirit. Because that's what you are. Spirit thinks. The eye cannot see. The spirit can see with the eye. The nose cannot smell. But the spirit can smell with the nose. The hand cannot touch and feel. But the soul with the hand can touch and feel. So this is so important for us to understand. Spiritual means a spiritual outlook. You see that that is called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We are all one family. The children of Mother Earth. We are the children, and we are supposed to obey our Divine Mother and her divine guidance and guardianship and kindness. That's what we should do. We should do our best. We should try level deep down best in our heart to be very spiritual. That's what the Bhagavad Gita says. This is the empowerment of freedom. If you have these qualities, you can teach them to others and empower them as well. Empowerment means trust, love, and open doors. Like in our spiritual community, we always have the doors open. In both directions, you can come in and you can also go out. This is Krishna's free will. He always allows you to come in and also to go out. Otherwise, it would be no more freedom at all. Where you're confined against your total freedom, total self-determination, then this is some kind of tyranny in the realm of thought, or tyranny in the realm of movement. Some kind of tyranny. And that's not empowerment. So we are the people who need to be free. We are the people who claim to be free. We are the people who have to be spiritual. We are the people who can understand that spirituality is not superstition. We are the people who understand that the choice of the heart of the individual should be a choice of love and not a choice of lust and hate and greed and this and that. Should be a choice of love. And you have the choice of love. That's what makes you great. If you only had the choice of hate and lust and greed, well, that wouldn't be that great. Not to say that would be absolutely horrible. If I'm bound to be bad, my God, how sad would that be? So is there any possibility? Is there any chance that I may actually go into the direction of the highest well-being? Will I be allowed to exercise my freedom in such a way that I can even share it with others? This is what we have been working on for a long time. And then we met our spiritual master. And our spiritual master, he has given us that full assurance. You may surrender. You know, in Krishna consciousness, the more you give up your freedom is the more freedom you get. And what does it mean, giving up your freedom? It means that you give up the choice to go away from the truth. It's also called surrender. If I'm given this information, and I have the option to ignore that, and I don't accept that option, my option is to follow this. So I'm restricting myself. They are kind of restrictions, no? Tolerance, honesty, and all this. But all these restrictions are empowering you to a dimension beyond your imagination. That is the real empowerment which the soul needs to love. There will not be love in you unless you embrace that kind of qualifications for empowerment. You can also be empowered in illusion. You can go to the military, you get a big job, maybe they make you a high-ranking officer, and then you have millions of dollars of military equipment, and by your order you can send people to be killed or this or that, and you may feel like a big shot. So in this material world, there's also certain empowerments in the world of illusion. And that world of illusion is enticing. If you have control over beautiful women, that is enticing. If you have control over money, that is enticing. If you have control over any kind of power, that is enticing. So a Brahmin, he has to conscientiously decide that I want the qualities to learn how to love. Then everything will come to you. That is the part. The part of freedom means to stay out of trouble. There's many more recommendations to stay out of trouble. I just gave you a few basic ones. But they come again with immediate empowerment and the freedom of your soul to exercise the beauty of your being. If you want to be that beautiful being who you are, then think carefully about this, if this is not something very important for you to embrace. The scriptures are full of treasures. They're giving us so many good advices, so many guidelines. But the greatest one of is that which will guarantee your freedom. And only with your freedom you will understand what is love. Otherwise you'll be just dabbling around like a blind man trying to understand the world by touching everything. Once you have been empowered with freedom, then you can understand what is love, and it will just come to you like as a wave inundating yourself and going through you to others. Like one person told me today, if I want to be happy, I have to work to make others happy. Oh, I said, good, great that you realize that. Yes, if you're not trying to make others happy, then why do you think you have any right or any claim on happiness for yourself? So this is what the transcendence of the spiritual instructions of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada have given to us. This potential empowerment. And now I will tell you what it means practically. Practically it means you can go into the world and be a missionary. Either as a married man or as a monk, you can be a missionary of the soul. You can become a doctor of the soul. You can become a friend and guide and coach. And you can also become a founder of an eco-yoga village or a meditation center or a yoga school or so many things without being entangled in the action and reaction, because you'll do this only for exercising your love of service. There may be many other things you can do, but I'm just giving a few examples. These things you can do. If you're ready to be empowered, you have to be ready to empower others. That's the qualification. You cannot say, give all the power to me. That's not empowerment. The power will come to you as you accept the empowerment to empower others as well. And the Brahman is full of gratefulness and compassion. And that is not by birth. That is by surrender to the highest principle. And so by the association of the Bhaktivedantas, those who read Prabhupada's books and those who follow the instructions of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, they can become real Brahmins and they can do great service for humanity. And we are so daring to think that all of you should become Brahmins and qualify this way. This is our earnest desire, and it's our earnest invitation. That's why this Nimahuset exists, to invite people to receive the empowerment of freedom, love, gratefulness, and compassion. But one thing you have to understand, you have to be a vegetarian 100%. No meat, no fish, no eggs, my friend. If you're still fighting with that principle, you will not be able to understand very much of this. You have to give it more than a try. You have to give it in. No more eating of brothers and sisters. I won't do it. So if you eat your brothers and sisters, then what kind of a compassion, what kind of an understanding will you have of empowerment? If you agree that an animal is tied up the entire life until it's been taken to a slaughterhouse to end up on your plate, forget it. You won't understand anything. All your attempts for freedom and big philosophical talks, this is just a fart. Nothing more. Now, there may be emergencies where a human being could not avoid to eat an animal because they were dying or something like this. There may be such things in history, but in the evolution of consciousness, as far as non-violent eating and spiritual food intake, we have definitely come to the conclusion by the sanction of the scriptures that everything should be offered with love. We should be grateful for our food. And you can say to the Lord, thank you for this nice chicken you gave to me. That chicken was born just for me. It was born to die for me. You sign your name on it. Put it up on the internet, on your Facebook. Another chicken died for me. And this is just a simple consideration. There's many more considerations because spiritual life is an ongoing process and there's so many revelations in this empowerment. And as you get more and more empowered, you also gain more and more friends, more and more commitments, and you will understand that that was the greatest treasure you could have ever obtained in life. The greatest freedom and spirituality of that type is the greatest treasure for anybody to get in life. Just a question whether you want such a treasure or whether you still feel that there's other tasks to be accomplished in the world of competition. Krishna gives the answer to everything. His Bhagavad Gita is the literature of the highest excellence. And anybody who has a little doubt about what I say, please read the Gita. Please let Krishna himself eradicate all your doubts so you will come to the conclusion that we can do it. And we can do it here all together, especially in Gothenburg. We can do a lot. Nima Husset is a center of spiritual freedom and spiritual commitment. Hope Sivananda will always have the strength to keep these doors open, or anybody else who helps him, so that we will get more dedicated, and then we can go even to go missionary activities, South America, India, everywhere. There's so much work to be done. We need volunteers everywhere. If you want to be a volunteer, if you want to learn what that means, so much you can do. Already from this little center, Nima Husset, we have had missionaries working in India, in South America, Central America, Brazil, everywhere. So it is something, it's a real proposal. And therefore you're also really invited. Feel invited and have a look. Have a look to all the wonderful things which are being presented to you in this connection. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, go ahead, please. And Sunday you have earlier prasadam as normal?
Pardon?
You have a little earlier prasadam in Sunday?
Yeah, we have prasadam today, yeah.
Yes?
We don't have Sunday programs here. We have Saturday programs.
Sure. Okay, so?
I have a question, Gurudev.
Yes, please.
What advice do you have, like, to in situations when one feels like frustration or anger or like something like this? What can one in that situation do to transcend it?
With frustration and anger, you should take your japa, tie them strongly around your hand, and then go around the square, the humility square, many rounds. This humility square is called Trinata Pi Sunichana Tarora Pi Saishnuna Amanina Manadina Kirtaniyat Sadahari. It's a very important square. It is the third shloka of the Shikshastakam, and it says, you should not consider yourself very high. Rather, you should consider yourself like a straw in the street. Be more tolerant than a tree, and give honor to everyone else without expecting honor in return for you. In that humble state of mind, your meditation will not be disturbed. So you just keep chanting this mantra as an interlude with many Mahamantras until all your anger is gone and all your frustration is gone and you're ready to embrace everybody, even the worst. Then you can return to your service.
What if one doesn't know how
to find the square?
well,
Then you have to take the book with the Shikshastakam, read the whole Shikshastakam, put it in the middle and start walking around.
my question was another one. It was more about to know the difference between to be really humble and to actually just not to be afraid of saying no.
Wow, what was that?
Like, what if to know the difference, to be like really humble in one's actions, or it's just like difficulty of saying no to when somebody is asking to be, if I can be engaged in some activity, and I cannot.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
I don't really want to answer that question because the answer will not be clear. Because the question is also not really clear. You want and you don't want, you shall and you shall not. Actually, just do the best you can and pray to Krishna forgive you your shortcomings. By what perfection standard are we going to measure? Doesn't make any sense. Maybe we are filled, maybe we are an ocean of imperfections, and still our Lord may forgive us and give us a chance to serve. So always serving this is the best. And Trinata Pi Sunichana is always the best medicine. The humility square of which I'm talking, in every temple I am installing it. Actually, it's a physical place with the Shikshastakam there, and you guys, you go around there. Because in community, some tension is always there. It's kind of a natural thing in Kali Yuga that some tension must be there.
I have a part 2 to that question. I have a part 2. Continuing on the first question.
Let's try part 2.
If you encounter this person who doesn't know about the humility square, how do you protect yourself? If this person comes with great anger and starts to chastise you.
Chastising you?
Yeah, I mean seriously, in a very bad manners. How will you protect yourself from not picking up this kind of, this black shit you're getting in your face, actually?
Cannot be answered either. Avoid conflicts. Move out of the way if somebody is too egocentric or too crazy. Some people, they have this is called megalomania. They think they're so great, they know everything, they can do anything. But it's actually not true. So such a person, we try to avoid them. They may not want to listen to you either. But it is too ambiguous, too abstract to answer. Yes.
Yes, Gurudev.
Version number 3?
No. Other chapter. Another question. How to please a devotee? How to make a Vaishnava happy?
How to please a devotee?
What makes a devotee happy?
First of all, the best thing is to ask him. And second, Prabhupada always said that when devotees become pure devotees, that makes him the most happy. So he wasn't interested in other results. Eloquence, no. Pure devotion, he said, this is the highest what we can do. Otherwise we may try to go for some mundane perfection, and it's actually not. Next question. Yes, Govindananda.
Gurudev, you talked about that in Krishna consciousness, the more freedom we give up, the more freedom we get. And my question is, in that aspect, what is the true freedom of choice? What is the true freedom of choice? Because a lot of times I feel like freedom of choice is based on material values. Freedom of choice, I can buy that, or I can buy that, I can get that, I can get that. But what is the real, true, honest freedom of choice?
No, the freedom I was referring to, when you surrender in a community to what is the common goal of the community, then you will be more empowered to protect that common goal, not only for you but for others as well. Rather that you will get less responsibility because you're offering to be submissive to whatever is there. Immediately they say, oh, this guy is submissive, let me give him a lot of responsibility because he will respond to it. He will take it serious. So therefore it is it's a description that responsibility means that you embrace it with joy also. When you understand this is something special has been given to me, then you will be very happy and you will reciprocate also. Mahari.
Maybe it's become version 3. Maybe it's version 3.
What?
The version.
Version 3 of 1, 2, 3.
Oh yes, okay.
You said it's natural to be it's a little conflict in the community. And my understanding, when I read your book about Temple President's Handbook and about this Vaishnava board, I found it very this section about Vaishnava board. I found it was very perfect description. And my understanding is that we have this meeting on this in Vaishnava board. We are on, you talked about authoritarian things, authority. So in Vaishnava board we are on equal level, I understand.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
There's always seniors.
Yeah, but in that we have...
But they're seniors because they accepted the seniors. They're not senior because they're hitting the table says I'm the senior.
Yeah. But we have kind of equal rights on that. So I think sometimes if there is conflicts, so I think one should come to solve it on that board. And if we don't come to some, because we are also persons, so we cannot always think the same.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have an opinion and someone else has an opinion, but we have to come to a conclusion because we have to act. So then I think it's very genius that we have this Vaishnava board, and if we have different opinions, then we vote about something, and then the majority kind of if it's like according to our philosophy and everything like that. So then
That helps.
So
That
then-
helps. But don't forget one thing: in the Vaishnava board, there's also rule and regulations. Never talk about the deficiencies of anybody,
Yeah.
and never fight. Never have a verbal aggressor. That should not be allowed. If it comes to that, immediately it has to be cancelled and it has to be discussed with senior devotees in private. There, the conflicts are better resolved with senior devotees in private. Generally not, and of course when it comes taste, questions of taste, then we may have to use the election process.
Yeah. Yeah, I meant more practical thing when different ideas.
Yeah.
We want to do different things, or someone has some. It was more in that, not that it's really conflict.
How to spend the 40,000 euro when we have them.
That we don't have yet.
Then we can think about that. Well, I was thinking about them, that you should make a very beautiful drawing of what you want to do there, so we can, according to that drawing, get more inspired.
Yeah, okay.
May I ask
Yes.
a question? It's on a totally
What's your
different-
name?
Shrinama.
Srinama.
Yes.
Mata.
Well, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine took her life, and then I got it was in the beginning of my devotee's status, so I got some prayers to pray for her not to be in kind of the middle realm. But now I'm in my 40s, and people are starting to die, and I'm thinking, wow, I haven't talked to this person or that person about Krishna consciousness. Why didn't I give a Bhagavad Gita to that person and this person? And I just wanted to ask, is there something after? Are there any prayers that you can do after somebody has left their body, if they have not been Krishna conscious, that can somehow help? Do you understand the question?
Absolutely. Yes, of course, there's prayers you can offer after somebody has committed suicide. There's several things you can do. Above all, you can make a Shraddha ceremony. You can lift up that soul from the possible danger of ghostly existence. Can help a soul to go onwards in their path. There's a specific place and description. And plus there's another one which is more important than that, which is the power of the Mahamantra. So if you take a picture of somebody who has passed on and you chant a few rounds for them and pray for them, immense benefit. Immense. It's like you personally pull them out of the greatest trouble. So it says, that is one thing. Offering prasadam to them is another one. This is actually in Shraddha ceremony, you offer them prasadam. Giving a good example ourselves in our devotional career is in a way the best, so we can encourage others to do the right thing also, because many times after the person had committed suicide, there are other family members left behind which are suffering so much from this, so we're also helping them, whatever is possible, but there's many things we can do.
Does this also go for people who have just passed away naturally? Is it also possible to chant for them when they have already passed? Can it do anything?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. For normally past person is always. Therefore the scriptures call the son Prituputra, the savior of his forefathers. And there's many descriptions about that in the scripture. That people have done seva, last rites for their forefathers.
question, Swami.
Yes.
And maybe it's just not a very important question. Maybe it's just some intellectual curiosity of mine. But I'm wondering regarding the Panchatattva mantra, because I think it was not chanted during the time of Mahaprabhu. So when was it taken in practice?
Mahaprabhu's chief librarian and biographers, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Vrindavan Das Thakur, as well as Murari Gupta, who all wrote about the Lord. They all glorify the Panchatattva. Thus they are chanting the Panchatattva mantra plentifully. And that is the beginning of this mantra, when they are putting it in the scriptures. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda is again and again, it is repeated. Pacha Guranga Kaha Guranga Laha Guranga Nam Yekana Guranga Vache Sehayama Pran. Basically, this is coming from the Bhakta section, because since the Panchatattva is introducing everybody, Nityananda says chant Gaur, Gauranga says chant Nitai, and the devotees say let's chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, to not miss out the mercy of any one of them. But it's an old tradition, it's not new. The mantras also, they are natural mantras, they evolve around the manifestation of the Lord. Yes, any last question?